On August 11th, 2023, this channel came on air here on YouTube. 4 days later, the first video came on air showing our first interaction as the fighter driver with Gran Turismo 7 and our journey as an amateur Simracing driver started. Today I'll take you back in time so we can revisit this journey playing Gran Turismo for an entire year. How much could we learn and evolve since then? So follow me and let's look back in time, weapons free. Salute and welcome to the Fighter Driver channel. I'm Gabriel Oliveira, the Fighter Driver, and we're getting ready for the new challenges waiting ahead, seeking for learning and evolving as an amateur sim racing driver in Gran Turismo 7. The first one being the time trial for the AMG Motorsport Virtual Championship. But we won't talk about it today, as you know. We'll look back in time and review all the steps that brought us here. But before we do so, be sure to smash the like button, to share this video with everyone you know who likes Gran Turismo 7, sim racing and motorsport, to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. By the way, we're just one subscription away from getting 100 subs here on YouTube. I want to thank every one of you who's been following and supporting us through this journey, but I'm also curious to know who's gonna be the number 100 subscriber. Leave a comment with the hashtag 100 so I know who you are. So looking back in time, it all begins here, August 15th, 2023. We were called the Fighter Driver, FDE Sports by then. New account created, first interaction with Gran Turismo 7 with this new account. Not my first interaction with Gran Turismo 7 or with the franchise, as I play it since the first version launched in 1997, so I dinosaur talking here. My goal was getting through the first steps as fast as possible, as my goal as the fighter driver was getting to the sport mode and the competitive races, no more no less. And as I had no steering wheel, I still don't have one. A big challenge was coming, being competitive playing with a PS4 control, old-fashioned. So the first café menus came, and with them, the licenses. As neither café menus nor licenses affect one's access to the sport mode, I took only the ones strictly needed for getting access to the sport mode. The first step was kept forward on the second video, and it was a lot of coffee, way more than I'd like, but we finally got access to the sport mode. But I'd have to keep going through the café menus a lot more, as I learned that it was needed in order to unlock all the tracks and take part in private lobbies, create them, or even use them for training before races. At least, I also learned that I could get many cars by completing the circuit experience challenges, so it was not all in vain. The completion of the café menus came on episode number 3, and we finally got ready for competitive races. Well, almost ready. We needed a car, a helmet, and a uniform, so I provided them, everything inspired by the patterns and standards adopted by the Navy. Next time we'd see the racing tracks behind the wheel of the Mustang GT3 RC2301 with the number 100 on its doors. We were ready for the battles. On the episode number 4, we covered our first 5 races in sport mode and proposed a new perspective on them. Instead of trying again and again as most YouTubers do, we will take those daily races very seriously, racing them just once, no matter what the result might be. The first one was in Red Bull Ring and we had the pole, but lost the position by the race start, and then a ferocious battle for first position took place until we had our pit stop. We returned in third, and one lap after, we overshot the exit on turn 4 and lost many positions. We fought for P6 in the end, a Ford versus Ferrari battle, and ended in P5 as 2 drivers ahead forgot the mandatory pit stops. Second race in Spa, starting in P2 and getting a penalty for cutting Eau Rouge. But we kept the position, and then another battle took place, defending the position against a Nissan GTR driver. We lost and recovered the position, ending in P2 and getting our first podium. Third race in Deep Forest. We started from the pole and kept the position until our stop by the end of lap number 7, when we lost it to a Citroën driver who crossed the line in first by the end, but we finished in first as the Citroën driver forgot the mandatory pit stop. Then we got our first victory there. Fourth race in Suzuka, and again starting from the pole. We had a good start but got threatened by the Porsche driver from the beginning until they made a mistake and almost hit us on the back. Then they lost control and got out of track. From that moment on, we managed to increase the gap and got our second victory with the Grand Challenge. Fifth race in Sardinia. Again, we started in first but lost the position right by turn 1 as we entered the turn a little wide. As I drive with the controls, there is no brake modulating for me. Trail braking isn't an option, so I must enter some turns in a very round-shaped racing line, or I risk losing the car for overdriving. After 2 laps, it became evident that I was faster than the Porsche driver in first overall and closed the gap to a dogfight for P1. Again, we almost lost P2 to a Supra driver coming in P3 who took the inside line in turn 1, but then the Porsche driver in P1 made a mistake and I had the outside line free while the other driver got blocked, so I took P1 back. From that moment on, the other drivers weren't able to catch me up anymore, and after 20 laps, we got our third victory, but the limitations of driving with the control old-fashioned were making themselves evident very quickly, and we're gonna talk about it on the next episode of the Mission Gran Turismo. And you can give us an incentive to keep going and bringing more content like this. There's a very simple mission to you. You have to smash the like button, share this video with your friends, leave us your comment about the topics and events in this video, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Let's go, drivers, we need just one more sub to reach the 100 subs number. Are you gonna be the one? Leave me a comment with the hashtag 100 if so. If not, subscribe anyways. Let's make this community grow even stronger and get new, bigger goals. I got many ideas that I want to accomplish with you, but only with your help can it be done. And if you want to drive or fly with us, just join our server on Discord. We got a small team who's already interacting and playing together there, and we're waiting for you to join and drive or fly with us, be it Gran Turismo 7 or be it War Thunder. Links in the video's description, or you can use the QR codes on screen. Then comes episode number 5, our first Manufacturers' Cup race in Nürburgring 24 hours. My dream as a Simracing driver is winning here and in Le Mans, and I had a chance of winning this race. I got the pole position and it was rainy, so many drivers would make mistakes. But come on, pal, I made the most stupid mistake as I forgot to change my tires and started the race with soft, slick tires. Well, you can see the results on screen. And because of that stupid mistake, I opened an exception here and tried again, but this time I couldn't qualify well and started from the end of the grid. It was a very hard race, but in the end, somehow I finished it in the top 5. I'll never forget that infamous day. Episode number 6 and 3 daily races. We tried to win all of them, of course. First one in Watkins Glen, I started in 3rd, almost lost a position by turn 1, but actually gained 1 position before going around the bus stop. We took P1 by exiting the chute, and from there we managed to open an almost 2 seconds gap by the end of lap 1. By the end of lap 5 my tires were completely worn, so changed them from soft to hard as the regulations demanded. Back on track in third, I'd recovered P1 by the end of lap 6, and now I had to last for 4 more laps against the drivers coming behind with soft tires. A difficult task, but we managed to get that P1. The next race was in Road Atlanta, and we started in the pole. It was another grand challenge as we dominated that race. It was also the first race we'd watch completely from my driving perspective, because I forgot to record the replay for that one. So 5th victory mark in my logbook and on my left door. I could call myself an ace from that moment on, and because of it we came to Interlagos with a small modification in our livery, adding a bit more of colors to the car. Again, I had the pole position, and despite the pressure coming from the cars behind during the first laps, I could defend my position and open some good gap by the end of the race, ensuring the 6th victory and my first one at home. Bravo Zulu! Then we had the first special episode of the channel, in which I exposed my opinions and disappointments with the update 1.49 or Spec 2. It is the second most viewed video of the channel to date, and it was polemic. Many people didn't understand that I was calling that update as useless, not for everybody, but from my perspective as a player totally focused on the competitive mode. Of course, it's not everyone's opinion, and there is nothing wrong if people disagree with me. Despite the divergence of opinions and some people who got really angry about it, I managed to have nice conversations with almost everyone in the comments section. In November, there was another Manufacturers Cup exhibition series, and we raced it on episode number 7. Again, I forgot to save the replay, then all the race was from my driving perspective, unfortunately. We started in third, and before the end of lap number 1, we took the 2nd position from the NSX driver who made a mistake. By the end of lap number 3, we reached the other NSX driver who was in P1 and took it as well. I had to make a stop at the end of lap number 10 as I was rolling on the rims, the tires were gone. We were back on track in P4 and with hard tires now. I wasn't able to drive as fast as needed to close the gap to the drivers ahead. We ended that in P4. On episode number 8, we had 2 more daily races, the first one in Grand Valley. The mission then was not only winning the races but also getting our driver rating up to B, and we were very close to it. We got pushed out by exiting the first turn and lose 1 position, but it's just the beginning and we must make a mandatory stop. However, we don't need to change tires or refuel, so it's just a stop and go, which I do right at the end of the first lap, returning in P12. As the race progresses, we move up the grid and finish in P5. Then we go back to Spain for a 4 laps daily race, starting in the pole position. The Subaru BRZ keeps putting some pressure on us, and on the 2nd lap they overtake us in turn 4, but by the exit of turn 3 on the 3rd lap, they make a mistake, so we retake P1 and keep it until the finish line, conquering another victory, the 7th in our logbook. It wasn't enough to get our driver rating to B, but we needed just a bit more to get there by then. The episode number 9 was the final episode of the year, and it was a messy daily race back in Sardinia. Another race that we've watched from my driving perspective here. I started in P2, lost the position, then kept fighting for it and recovered it, going after the Genesis driver in P1 and taking their position as they made a mistake. We were on the lead until the end of lap number 3, when I overshot and stopped by the wall, throwing the race away. Later on, I was pushed out of track by another driver, falling back to P6 in the grid. In the end, I managed to recover another position and ended in P5. New year, new livery coming for the Mustang, and the first daily race of the year in the episode number 10, this time in our operations base in Daytona. It was our 8th victory. What a victory! Pure strategy as I managed to keep up with the faster Ford GTs, which were on the first positions with me, save fuel and finish the race without stopping for fuel. That race also brought us up to driver rating B, and was our last victory in Gran Turismo 7 until now. Things would prove to be way harder for us as a rating B driver. Then came the episode number 11 in a 10 laps daily race in Nürburgring GP with a very weird glitchy race start. The lights went green, but the drivers had no control of the cars, getting it only after passing by the Mercedes arena. The Porsche driver in P1 was more than 2 seconds in front of me by then. By the end of lap number 5, I came into the pits for my mandatory stop, just a stop and go, as neither changes nor refueling were needed. We got a very good second place and a podium there, but even today I try to understand what happened then. Later on, we had a 40 minutes, 20 laps race in Suzuka for a daily race in episode number 12. Even today I ask myself if that was the best daily race I've ever had, and in many aspects I think it was. Better than that, only if it were a 40 laps race. The results were not so good, as I started and finished this race in 8th, showing that the challenges would be much harder as a DRB driver against very fast drivers at the same rate, and the struggle of driving with the control would be even bigger now. Episode number 13, 2 years of Gran Turismo 7, a failed attempt to gather drivers and have a celebration race, and a chaotic 4 laps race in Trail Mountain. We started in P5, were pushed out of track many times, and ended in P8. Again, that race was only recorded from my driving perspective. I'm getting older and the memory is not the same, drivers. From then on, we've only taken places in GTWS Manufacturers Cup races basically. The time for racing and recording videos is getting shorter and shorter, unfortunately. I'm a husband and a father and have to provide for them, you know. I hope I can race a bit more often from now on, and with your help we can make this channel grow and make it viable. So I count on you to smash this like button, share this video with everyone you know who likes Gran Turismo 7 and Simracing, subscribe to the channel if not subscribed yet, and leave your comments with your opinions about this video. I'm counting on you. We had a great race in Nürburgring 24 hours for the 2024 qualifiers, starting in P4, making very few mistakes, even fighting for P2 for some time, and finishing 3rd. That podium felt like a victory to me. The second 2024 qualifiers race in Deep Forest was a disaster. We started in P8, were rammed right in the beginning, and there was even a lag on the main straight while trying to overtake an Audi R8. We finished that race in P11, a race to forget. Now, the third 2024 qualifiers race in Daytona was another excellent race in which we started and finished in 3rd, fighting for the victory throughout all the race. I could have won that race and even took the 2nd place when crossing the finish line and coming for the first turn during the final lap, but the Porsche driver bumped me as I was entering turn 1 and took the position back, making me lose time and lose contact with them, unfortunately. Then the new GTWS exhibition series came, and we also raced 3 of them. The first one was in Interlagos, and we didn't start in a good position, which is a problem because when you're in the middle of the pack, the chances of getting rammed right in the beginning are high, and that's what happened right by the Senna S. We finished that race in the same position we started, P8. Then we had a terrible race in Tokyo. We qualified badly, were rammed in the first lap and even managed to recover many positions. But then a terrible strategic decision made us get involved in further incidents. We finished that race in 15th. Many lessons were learned for sure, but it was another race to forget, or to remember and not to make the same mistakes again. Then we had the update 1.49 and the changes in physics right before the race in Autopolis. I brought the Aggressor Mustang, a Mustang made especially for testing and training. You will see more of it in future videos. And it was evident that it made me slower, so I had to adapt and adopt a new strategy for the race coming. I took the decision of not qualifying for that race and starting from last, a avoiding the confusion in the middle of the pack. It paid off as we managed to move up the grid 9 positions and finish the race in P7, with no incidents and an improvement in our driver rating as well as our safety rating, which was affected by the bad results achieved during the latest races. Now, let's look forward and see what's waiting for us from now on. Our results on the AMG Motorsport Virtual Championship Time Trial will come in the episode number 17 of Mission Gran Turismo, which is coming soon here on the Fighter Driver channel. So make sure you hit the like button, share this video with your friends who like Gran Turismo 7 and Simracing, and subscribe to the channel in order to keep following this journey with us. How has your journey through Gran Turismo 7 been so far? Leave a comment sharing with us your experiences and thoughts about it, and don't forget to activate the notifications bell to receive the notifications every time there is a new video here on the channel. I appreciate you who followed me so far. Salute, and I see you on the next mission.